Welcome. This is episode number 2 of the G Team podcast. Just want to briefly tell you guys about what we're all about. So we're the G Team, a group of young, ambitious, wonderful students. And we're all about trying to maximize our lives, maximize our potential. And we're trying to get this message across through various different platforms. We want to be doing speaking. We've also got a website, we've got Instagram, social media, LinkedIn, and now obviously, as you're listening to through the airwaves, it's the podcast. So this is going to be hosted by myself, it's Olusomi Masaki, and my wonderful, wonderful co-host, Peter.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
I thought it was I don't know if that was my cue to respond or like.
Now we'll get to introducing you guys soon. I mean, we already told. Yeah, people know what the G Team is now. So on to introducing our guests today. We have Shanén and Princess. Which you guys would like to take turns to introduce yourselves, what you guys do with the G Team, what you guys do in general, and anything that you want to plug, may as well do it now.
Princess, go for it.
I was about to say, I'm going to tell you to go first. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Princess. I'm a GT speaker and webmaster. I study computer science at Loughborough. I enjoy sports. I play volleyball. Yeah.
Gang. And you hurt your wrist as well. That's a fun fact, isn't it? I just realized.
Hey, battle wins.
Don't know if I can top that really because I'm not that interesting. But my name is Shanén. I go to Durham University. So I'm not part of the Loughborough gang, but I'm proud to be part of the G Team. I do quite a few things here. I kind of mingle in between a lot of roles, but I think what I'm meant to be doing is editing. I think, but right now I'm speaking. So
everything, jack of all trades.
There we go. But I like playing basketball, making music. Fun fact, made a song for Chris Brown.
Peace.
And
Is it on the floor?
Big tune as well.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Says I'm not that interesting, and it just drops. I made a song. By the way, I made a song for Chris Brown.
We're close buds.
Me and Chris Breezy, we linked up one time.
You know when you met meet the G Team video, I didn't expect you to add that little fact there. So I thought, you know what, if people are gonna identify me, they might as well identify me as that guy who did that. I was like, okay, cool.
He's that guy.
There you go. As you see, in the G Team, very, very diverse people with a lot of diverse experiences, and that's why we're here to talk about them.
100.
But yeah, how are you guys doing? In your this is what we asked the guys last week as well. But obviously, with situations being different this year, how have you guys been coping? That's okay. That's the answer I expected. But let's get it.
Not gonna lie, I think it's better than the first lockdown, but it's just need perseverance. It's lacking, but we need it.
Honestly, I don't know where I'd be in this world without food. I live on basically what is takeaway street for Durham. And if it weren't for these guys, trust me, free deliveries are a blessing. And I think that's what's getting me through this entire pandemic right now. Needless to say, your boy's been putting on some weight, but it's okay. Works out in the end, Oh yeah, my degree. About my degree. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, no, that's also going okay.
Yeah.
That's love that. On the back burner. All right. I have a question for you guys. Just want to explore this whole idea of where you thought you were going to be at this time right now compared to where you actually are. So one question. I'm going to ask you first.
Ask me first? You guys love to pick on me. Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
So, what did you want to be when you were younger?
As an indecisive kid, I can't give you a specific answer.
You give your top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah, top 5.
Well, it was to be an author, to be an athlete, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a politician.
Crikey. So, what do you think's changed between now and then? And like, what do you reckon as a kid? I'm very curious. Like, how did you as a kid want to be a politician?
That's a good. I think it's just, when you see things on the news, you just think, I can do that better. Like, why can't you provide the basic needs to your people? I can do that.
Yeah.
That was the kind of mindset I think I had. And then reading lots of political books and just watching like lots of documentaries and stuff kind of fueled that passion. And studying politics.
Say no more. Very interesting. Now, Shanén, when you were younger, were you thinking, when I grow up, I want to be chilling with Chris Breezy? What about you? What did you want to be when you were younger?
To tell you the truth, my first aspiration was to be a dinosaur.
Hey, come on.
Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I had any concept of what like a career was. Okay, like growing up, I wanted to be, like a dinosaur. After I realized that dodos, which were like, my island's, home animal, had gone extinct. That being said, I didn't realize that dinosaurs were extinct back then. So that being said, I wanted to be a dinosaur, and then I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
But actually, to be honest, that's also a lie. I didn't want to be a doctor. My parents wanted me to be a doctor.
Hey,
kind of pushed for that dream to go forward, and they pushed that so much to the point where I kind of was like, I want to be a doctor. Yeah, why not? And then I remember going to a few courses, like as in, at King's College, they were like, doing some demonstrations for year 12 and year 13 students. I sat there, I was like, no.
This ain't it.
I was just like, you know what? Let's just make music for Chris Breezy instead. I'm joking. That's a much easier thing to do. No, I just ended up telling myself, you know what? I feel like, life is all about doing what, you truly feel passionate about. And, despite it being something that would maybe cause a bit of upset to my mom and dad, and it did, at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted to be doing was something that would personally make me happy. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and be a music producer, even though that would be nice and comfortable. But it definitely meant that whatever career I pick now or in the future, currently it's law. It means that it's what I want to do. So yeah, hopefully that's a good enough answer.
That's beyond satisfactory. That is excellent. And you know what? It does open up an interesting topic. Parents, and like, how much do you think they have an influence over the direction that you take in your life? And particularly, I don't know, like, I'm just going to speak from experience, and like, I reckon it'll probably be the same for you guys. Our parents might have always had that mentality: you're either going to be a lawyer, a doctor, engineer, this or that. And like, how would you say you felt dealing with that kind of pressure? Like, if this applies to you as well. So just want to go around again, like ask you guys.
Princess, I saw you grinning when he was asking that question. So I know you want to take it. So go for it.
The funny thing is, it doesn't necessarily apply to me. I think for me, it's more school and the pressure that school applies. But in terms of like parents, I think my dad gave me that freedom, but he did have like what he wanted, like tried to push me in a little direction, but it wasn't like, because you have to do that. But it's more like, it would be nice if you maybe took this as a subject so you could go into this career. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But I'm just saying, it was more like that. But for me, it was school. So if it's for parents, you can.
Fair.
In school, like, how did that work for you?
Well, for me. Say who?
Like with school.
Oh, me. You want me to talk about it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so in secondary school, it was still more like I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but my school kind of made it seem like it was okay. As long as you are enjoying what you're studying, it's fine. You don't need to know what you need to do. Then all of a sudden, go into sixth form and it's like, you need to know what you want to do. You need to know what subjects you want to take to go to uni. You need to know what you're going to do in the next 10 years of your life. You need to know. And it was like all of a sudden, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do everything, but I don't really know what to do. And then you speak to people who already know what they want to do. And then the teachers are like, so maybe you should do this, but not really asking you what you're interested in, but like giving you suggestions of careers that you should go into. And it just became a bit confusing, like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to have my life sorted. But when you kind of get out of that, you know, sixth form was very stressful. You get out of that atmosphere. Now in university, I do know what I want to get into, but it's kind of like, why did I have to feel pressured to know what I wanted to be in secondary school? When it was only really this year, actually, this September, that I was fully solid in knowing what I want to do. And that's because I chose this degree. And this degree isn't even something that my subjects would have kind of directed me to, because I did the IB, so I studied high-level politics, economics, sports science, standard English, maths, and French. There's no way you would have thought that I would study computer science at university. But the degree that I want to do is not necessarily related to computer science, but you need a STEM degree to do it. So that kind of suits me a lot because, I mean, if I never kind of chose computer science, I wouldn't have been able to do that job. And I don't want to say what job it is because I'm trying not to.
Go and jinx it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. Blessings to you though, for real. Damn. I don't know if I can top that. I don't even know what the question was anymore.
Basically, just talking about like external pressures.
Yeah.
Idea of what you want to do in life.
Yeah, no. I think for me, I felt that quite intensely. Growing up as a little brown kid, you know, my mom and my dad, they gave me the illusion of choice, where it's basically this thing where, you know, they had a very tough upbringing, and as a result of that upbringing, they didn't want me to experience the same kind of, you know, thing that they did. And in doing so, wanted to give me as much freedom and as much choice as I could possibly have. What they probably didn't realize, and what I probably didn't realize, was that level of freedom was this. And so, you know, whilst they wanted me to, you know, grow up, you know, with this like Western mindset, and you know, and I don't think it's a Western mindset really. I think maybe it's just something that we've not yet come, like as a society, I've not come to terms with yet. Like back home, is that you can do what you want to do. And so for them, they tried to, like, you know, digest that and try and push that forward, but they did a really bad job at it, of course. You know, it's kind of like, you know, yeah, go out there, be what you want to be, but, you know, it'd be really, really good. And you'd be very, very much respected.
Keyword.
Yeah. You know? Think about what auntie this person will say. Think about what uncle this person will say. I'm like, I don't even know them. I was like, they held you when you were a little baby. Do you not remember? I was like, no, I don't. But, you know, if it makes them happy, then so be it. So I think external pressures, especially from my parents, you know, played a big role in my upbringing. And I think, you know, for quite an extended period of time, it altered my mindset in terms of, you know, what was I doing what I was doing for? Was I working hard for somebody, or was I working hard for myself? And I think that's something that a lot of us, you know, tend to get very, very twisted. And that's why a lot of us don't tend to be passionate about the things that we do currently or before, or even in the future, because we get it confused as to who we are doing it for. You know, there are people right now who are working a job that maybe they probably would not want to work because, you know, personally they feel passionate about something else, but really this is what gets them the kind of like conditional love that their parents have, you know, placed on them. And so I think growing up and realizing that, and then wanting to go and study like basically that kind of stuff, made me realize just how much external pressure just has an impact on the way in which people think, people feel, and people behave. So yeah, definitely agree that it's a huge pressure. Yeah. Sorry, that was really deep, but yeah.
I was loving it. I was like, yes, point after point.
Transcended into other levels. But it's true, you know. I think that's something that a lot of people go through, especially when you have parents who were raised like in third world countries with conditions that obviously aren't as good as our upbringing is as well. It's like I feel like they feel like, oh, whatever, it's a doctor, engineer, one of them safe choices, right? It's like a guaranteed way for us to not suffer. But exactly like what you're saying, it's like even I feel it sometimes. Like even now, it's like I always want to do good for my parents, you know, for my family as well, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's about how much of it is like, as you said, like I'm doing it for myself. And yeah, that's still something that I'm trying to become self-aware about. And yeah, but yeah, for me, I think my parents compared to the rest of my family are quite open. It's always been pressure from my uncles or my aunties as opposed to my parents, you know. They just told me, being a dentist would be a nice thing to do. But then I realized when I flopped physics in A levels, that I just want for me. So yeah. But yeah. There you go.
I get that.
Guys, what do you think about like the creative industry? Because I feel like when we were growing up in school, it's just, you know, mainly emphasis on STEM or humanities, but creatives not really spoken about as much as something that you can be successful in. But growing up now, you see like a lot of people becoming successful professional dancers by creating their own portfolios or creative writing, artists even. But you never really considered art to be a professional course.
You say it's just easier now than it's ever been. Like, I don't know, with social media and just the new technology that we have, it's so much easier now to create content
for sure.
and put it out and share it to like the masses, like crazy amounts of people. Whereas before, you know, you basically had to be elite. Like there's no way to like, you know, wriggle your way around through the system. Like, but now, I don't know. I'd also say it's like one of my like biggest regrets. Like from my school years, I wish like I just did more like creative stuff.
Same.
I think as well, it just enriches you as a person. Having like, you know, you have your analytical side, that's cool. Do your STEM, nice. But like creativity, I'd say is probably one of the most important aspects to like what makes you human. Do you know what I mean? Like just that ability, like creativity, curiosity, like go into a situation, it's like, oh, okay, there might be a problem here. Like, how can I solve it? And I think what you find is like people try to separate, oh yeah, you get your maths, your science, like, and then your creative stuff. They're actually quite interlinked. You need that creative side to you to solve the problem. And I think like that kind of thing can be developed like, at a younger age, like when you're doing your arts, when you're doing like drama, when you're doing music, everything just like helps each other in the internet. But I'm not gonna lie, I definitely went off track from what the question was. But I think it's important anyway, and I think it's good that nowadays like people have more access and there's more ability to get into that field.
100%. No, those are all really good points in the raw fair. I don't think you waffled at all, and I completely agree with what you said to us. I mean, I think with the creative industry, it's something that has become a lot more accessible as time has passed, and I think also it's a combination of that, but also back into like what we mentioned earlier about, you know, parental pressures and whatnot. It's not something that you like at least for me, I experienced being encouraged to go into. You know, there is a reason for why, like, you know, we are all encouraged to become doctors, dentists, lawyers, engineers, and not, you know, a producer, or, you know, not you know, a photographer, or, you know, an actor or something like that. I remember, you know, my younger sister, like, and I think it's so the story I'm going to bring up next is basically just to kind of like demonstrate how those kind of attitudes have changed over time. So growing up, my sister was not really always aware of what she wanted to do in her life. As with many other people, like no one really knows what they want to do until you get to a certain age or a certain point in your life where you feel like, okay, cool, well, this is what I want to do. So she didn't know what she wanted to do. But growing up, she knew that she loved to act. She loved, I mean, she definitely caused drama in the house, but still, she loved to act. And so, you know, it was something that wasn't, it wasn't, you know, overtly discouraged, but it was a lot more subtle. It was kind of like my dad was just doing everything in his power to kind of like, just go there, you know, be a journalist, be this, be that, but you know, acting, be a little bit more realistic, be a bit more pragmatic in your thinking. You know, is that what you want? Is that what you really want? But, you know, really he had to ask himself, is that something I'm not comfortable with? Anyways, so, but now my sister is studying drama and theatrical studies at Queen Mary. And, you know, it's just crazy because it just shows how, well, essentially my dad's become more accepting of it as time has passed, because it also shows how, I guess, attitudes in the wider world have grown to, I guess, embrace that kind of side a lot more. And you even see it in things like, you know, existing careers, like, you know, at least for me, I can speak from a commercial law point of view, where, you know, people do appreciate STEM subjects, like, you know, and people who have taken those, but what they really emphasize is those who can, you know, who can like kind of like think in a abstract kind of manner, and who can provide creative solutions to very complex problems. And that's something that I think is emphasized in quite a lot of careers nowadays. So I definitely think it's something that's picked up, not only because of, like, you know, attitudes, but also because people are starting to embrace just how important it's become in everyday thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is sick. This is like, you know, you're in a like assessment center. They ask you these tough questions. Everyone's just coming up with some mad answers. It's sick. I love it.
You know what? If you ask me this in an interview setting, I'll be like, I'll be doing Buster Rhymes all over the place.
I'm friends with Chris Brown. I'm friends with Chris Brown. Hate me.
Hi, please.
Get Breezy to come in. Breezy.
You know, man. That's a yeah. I feel like I wanted to know. I feel like everyone wants to know. How did you even come across this opportunity to meet the man himself, or work alongside him, or work for him? You know, explain your process.
What's been my process?
Yeah.
I think it goes like, you know, how you meet about, you know, every other person. You know, I just hit the man up on the DM.
Yeah,
like, you know, yo, bro,
it's easy, isn't it?
Want a coffee? I'm not joking. That is definitely not how I did it. So just with the music itself, it was more like I had been making music for ages, absolutely ages. And it was only until recently where I actually joined another producer and came to form a bigger channel, which we work on together till this day. And so, like, he knew people in the States, I knew people here in the UK, so I didn't really have that many connections, but we thought, you know what, it would be a good idea to start sending out, like, batches of stuff that we had made to the record labels that managed these, you know, people. So, you know, we just started saying stuff around, and I was like, you know, this is not going to get anywhere. I'm not expected to get anything, you know, big or major. I'm probably just going to get this one guy who's like, yeah, I'm up and coming, baby. But, like, you know, he's not he's not really got anything, you know. The next big thing, you know, still his voice still breaks. I don't know. So yeah, we started sending stuff around. And then all of a sudden, you know, like a friend that we were, you know, like a producer that we were friends with, just hit us up and was like, oh, look, I've been working with this guy who's made some songs for, you know, people that's worked with Chris Brown in the past. It was never our intention to work with Chris Brown. Let me just get that out there. It was never our intention. I was looking for that guy with the voice breaking. But yeah, the thing is that we just started saying, okay, cool. I'll just send this to this record label, and we'll see how it goes. And then a few days later, we hear back from our friend, and he's like, yeah, so Breezy heard it, and he liked it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
That's mad. I was like, in my heart, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with him listening to it and liking it. Like, I don't need any more than that. That's my life complete. And he was like, yeah, so he wants to do more. I was like, swear down. So what happened was that there were actually 3 groups of producers on the beat. So we made the melody, we sent that off to our friend. Our friend laid some drums on it, and then we that friend sent it off to another friend. You might know him, like he's quite big on like the music sector. He's like, his name is OG Parker. So he finished like the rest of the beat. And on some cool like weird alienish sounds to it. I was like, and then send that off to Breezy, and then like in August, I remember I was just about to go say happy birthday to my mom. So like she's on like her birthday's on the 4th of August. I go, and then all of a sudden I get a message from from my friend who's in the States, and he's like, yeah, so check the page, like check YouTube and stuff like that. And I was like, what? I was like, it's there. I'm like,
Hey.
What's there? And he's like, the song. And then all of a sudden I just put it on YouTube, and I'm kind of like, no! I was like, I just started screaming, and my mom comes into the room and she's like, it's just my birthday. What's going on? I was like,
It's not just your birthday, woman.
I was like, Mom, it's not about you. Go away now. Happy birthday. This is Breezy. This is Breezy. So yeah, and I remember for the next few days, I was just trying so hard to keep it to myself. But then all of a sudden, like it just starts playing on radio, it just starts playing there. And I'm just there like, but I want to say something. I want to be like, I made it. But it's been something that I just keep quiet about, and I'm kind of like, you know what, I'll just accept it. Right in here, baby. But yeah, that's how it pretty much came about. So it was a long process of just back and forth emails, and stuff. But yeah, it took quite a while, but we're here now. You're here now.
That's incredible.
That is so cool as well. I think like obviously things have changed now in terms of, I mean, I don't know for sure, but from what I've heard in terms of music and how you can obviously get it out so much easier than beforehand, where I think you'd have to know certain people beforehand, but now you can obviously have your own SoundCloud page. You got SoundCloud, by the way? I'm sure you do, right?
Yeah, we have a SoundCloud, but we don't really use it. But we mostly use YouTube. But yeah, you're completely right. It's so much easier to get out stuff as well, and it's so much easier to get in contact with people that you may know. And I think that just goes for about any other profession that you want to get into. Like it's always hard starting off, but as soon as you start connecting with people and actually, asking around and forming real genuine connections with people, not just like I know you because you know this person kind of thing, but real genuine authentic relationships, you will start to see that your friends and your peers could direct you and guide you in ways that you could never imagine. And so I'm very happy to be where I am today, through things like a simple commercial law bright network internship scheme. I'm here, and it's just crazy because had that not happened, I wouldn't get the opportunity to meet you amazing people. I wouldn't get the opportunity to meet G, and I think that's it just goes to show how the world works in really, really mysterious ways. Yeah, I don't know how we got into that topic, but yeah.
I also think
That's inspirational.
That situation highlights how you don't need to have a solid plan in your life. You just need to work hard what's in front of you, and whatever happens. Because I feel like people just think, oh, I don't know where I'm going, I won't be successful. But as long as you work 100%, or not even 100%, 95% at what you're doing right there and then anything that can happen will come your way.
Well, that 5% for Netflix or something, huh?
Yeah. It's okay to just exist
100%.
sometimes.
No, let's be realistic.
Uncertainties.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing. Like, you know, at any point you could have just been like, let me just focus on school. Like, why am I making these beats? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Any point you could have done that, and then you would have missed out on like what was ahead. So I think, like Princess is saying, it's such a good point. Like, you have resources like right in front of you. You might not be like, I don't know, the ideal version of yourself just yet. You might not be like, I don't know, like Metro Boomin. You might not be Metro Boomin right now, but like Metro Boomin was Metro Boomin like 10 years ago. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
True.
Yeah.
And that process, like, okay, I've got certain skills right now. I have people around me right now who are like just as motivated as I am. And like, let's work together and let's do something. You might not know like how great that thing is going to be, but the most important thing is not being like hesitant, like, okay, I've got a dream. I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to take that risk. And I think for me, that whole story, that's very inspirational to me. Like, just taking action, it just can't be neglected. Like, if you're not willing to take that risk, you're never going to achieve great things. You're never going to reach your dreams.
100%. 100%. No, I completely agree. And the thing is, you know, it just reminded me back to the time when I actually started like making music. Like I was 12. We had like a small kind of like family laptop that, you know, everyone in the house shares. So you don't really, you know.
You don't get that time.
Sorry?
You don't get enough. Like, you have to.
Don't get enough PC time here. So I remember I used to like, you know, just try and do like, you know, basic stuff, but I hated it. I hated it because everything like that I wanted, like the way I wanted it to sound just did not end up sounding the way it should. Like in my head, I was thinking, you know, like snare rolls, hi-hat, good claps, and, you know, something that, you know, Zaytoven or Metro Boomin would do. Instead, I get some like EDM Swedish House Mafia kind of thing. Like, I'm like, no, this is not what I wanted. And so, you know, I gave up. I gave up. I deleted the entire, you know, like workstation, and, you know, I didn't touch music again for 2 years, you know. But it was on my 14th birthday that when we got another laptop, I was like, you know what, might be time to try again. And since then, I was like, you know what, I've just kept, you know, being like just going forward and doing what I've done, and that's where, like, you know, I am where I am today, and I'm so grateful for that, because, you know, one, it just shows, like, you know, what you can do when you just pick things up again and start going and giving 95% to it. And, you know, but it also just goes to show, like, you know, what, you know, how much, you know, perseverance and a good supportive system around you can, you know, can do for you, and you know, your mental well-being, but also your progression, you know, in life. I think the importance of friends, family, and people around you to kind of like remind you of who you are and where you are, like, and what you're doing, cannot be emphasized enough. Yeah.
Guy. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tears in my eyes now. I just feel like right now.
I'll give you tissues, but I mean,
bro,
I
just need to go out and attack life.
That's it.
Guys, you know, a key quote for that is, don't strive for perfection, strive for completion.
We'll write that down right now.
Say, man, practice makes progress, not perfect.
Peace.
That was right here.
Loving it. But it's also like, for me, you know how I keep saying, guys, I want to publish a book in December. Or before it was publish a book before uni starts. Now it's publish a book before December. Now I think it's going to be publish a book before the summer, because uni work, because I know I'm not paying 9K to just neglect my work.
That's amazing though. Where did you even get the idea to be like, you know what? I'm going to write a book. I
was a kid. I was that bookworm. I would always be reading books. In my old house, I used to have like stacks of books that I'd read and stuff like that. And in secondary school, I remember you had the option to do creative writing AS level alongside your GCSE. But then I just stopped because, you know, it was a bit too much work at the end. But I did go to the lessons, but I just didn't do the exam. And then sixth form, that's where it all just went downhill. But then back to uni, when you had that like summer break where you get to kind of refresh and rejig yourself, like you've escaped from the exam pressure, you can find out who you are and what you want to do. It was like, yeah, I love writing. I missed it during sixth form. Let me get back into it. And then that's when I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write my book. And then I started writing it, but it was a bit hard because, you know, I hadn't written in a while. And then uni started last year. And then it was like, okay, let me just focus on uni a bit. But I still wrote a bit. I'm like halfway. But now it's like, oh, my deadline, you know? But I think I should stop putting a deadline because I wanted to do it before I turn, like, I'm no longer a teenager, you know, before I turn 20. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So, yeah.
I mean, maybe the thing you should be doing is trying not to set a deadline and trying to say, you know, I'm not gonna get it. Like it's kind of like you're placing a condition, you know, on it. It's kind of like saying, oh, you know what, if I don't do it, it's just not gonna end up being where it should be. I think what you should be doing is probably like just saying to yourself, you know, I'm gonna try and get like this much of it done, like at this point. And get this much of it done at that point, but don't ever say, "Oh, the finish line is there."
Yeah,
you know. And I'm gonna, you know, step by step, girl, step by step. So no, but it's amazing though, like how you just come to, you know, to just saying, you know what, I wanna do this. I just wanna write because. And I'm not gonna lie, what you just bring all of that up just brought back memories of when I used to be to my mom like, I'm bored. And mom was like, go write something. I remember I went to go write something. And back then I was really, really creative. You know, I remember I'm like one line I wrote in particular was like, you know, like the book, the story was about me getting up out of bed and going on some kind of like mystic adventure. But I talked about galloping down the stairs. And for me, and I was like, damn, that's a bar. Like, but you know, like, you know, I did that, and I gave it to my mom. I was like, how do you think that sounds? Because I don't know if galloping sounds more like, you know, what a horse should be doing, you know. And mom was like, go away. I was like, she was just like to me, go away. You didn't write that. I'm like, I did. And she was like, no, you didn't write that. So even my mom was thinking, you know what, this guy's stupid. You know, like, you know, he's gone absolutely bonkers to be writing like it's a horse. Or like he took that from somewhere because what he wrote was just too good. Obviously, I took the former, thinking I was just like, I thought I was just hella dumb. And I just never did writing again. I was like, you know what? I'm never galloping down no stairs. I'm never But props to you though, Princess. That's amazing. And I really do hope it goes well.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a thing that a lot of people do in terms of looking at the end goal rather than making milestones, like you said. Like, even with uni work, they say, you want a first class degree, but you don't set the milestone goals like, okay, week 5 I want to be getting so percentage in my, you know, exercises, my end of week exercises. It's more time like you just look at the end goal like, okay, even if I don't do well in first semester, I'll catch up in second semester. But like you said, with the milestones, that would be easier to attain that goal that you want at the end.
100%. What's everyone's favorite quote though? Because I realized we just threw some quotes around. What's everyone's like favorite quote?
So I have a whiteboard somewhere.
I was literally about to ask this question.
Really?
Well, okay, not exactly this question. I was gonna say, what's your day-to-day mantra? So like, not a quote as such.
Okay,
but like, what are your words to live
we'll
by?
answer that one.
Like, what are your words to live by, basically?
Princess, go for it.
Oh, you lot. No, someone go first. Someone else.
You know, we don't have to just say one. We can say multiple.
You can say multiple. All right,
This-
I've got one. This is an OJ original. So, okay, let me get it. You have to get it right. Make sure you get it right. So, this is like a goal. I want to have so much gratitude that nobody can tell me I don't know how lucky I am. Yeah.
Wait, sorry, say that one more time.
All right. I want to have so much gratitude that nobody can tell me I don't know how lucky I am. Because that way, I don't know, you keep a certain level of humility, and then that will keep you like a certain. You can appreciate what's around you, and you'll be more likely to, go out and just do sick things. Because like, whoa, I've got all this stuff around me that you just kind of realize it, but a lot of the time you can take it for granted.
That's very true. That is very, very true. I think especially during these times as well. Like it's been hard to remember that. Because obviously we're focused on maybe on the past or the future, thinking that things are being better, but not taking the time to realize what you have now is already a blessing, So yeah, that's facts. I'm just trying to find my quotes because I'm pretty sure I wrote it all down somewhere.
Go in your notes somewhere.
Got my bars somewhere.
Go have my 16s just ready,
Yeah, ready to spray.
Your Princess taking down notes right now.
Yeah.
I want to have so much gratitude that nobody can tell me how lucky I am.
You're gonna hear me say that in all the meetings, by the way.
Action then.
Yeah. What's everyone else's words to live by?
See, okay, all right, there's this one that I heard recently. I was just scrolling through Instagram, and it was a quote by an Asian American actress. I can't remember her name though, but okay. You guys make me shout your pen and paper. It's not that big. Okay, basically, you may do monstrous things, but that doesn't make you a monster, or that may not make you a monster. Because I feel like people beat themselves up when they do, let's say, bad things. Let's say they lash out at someone out of anger. They suddenly think that they're a bad person, or they probably went through a phase where they were just being a toxic friend, and they're no longer toxic. They've kind of realized what they did wrong and changed their personality. But because they were toxic to that person, they want to say, "Oh, I'm such a bad person," even though they've grown from that. So that phrase is kind of just highlights, like, you may have done monstrous things, but it doesn't make you a monster, especially if you've grown from that.
Yes. Learning to forgive yourself, right? That's huge.
No, but I think it also stresses the power of growth,
Yeah.
Like, your growth shouldn't make people like people around you uncomfortable, and whoever gets left behind in the process. I'm not saying that 100% of the time will be their fault, but anyone who starts to get a bit iffy about your growth, about your change, about your you evolving, are probably not people that you necessarily want to keep around. And I think it's always good to remind yourself that whatever change that you do make in your life, whatever whatever you do, no matter how big it is, it doesn't make you any less of a moral being or whatever. In fact, it makes you so much more than that. So yeah, no, I think that really, really does stress the power of growth, 100%.
Yeah, and you shouldn't allow people to put you in a box.
So let the past stay in the past. You go right now, and like you can. It doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to let that drag you down. And like you said, especially when you know you've grown. But yeah,
100%. Peter, have you got that quotes book ready?
Man, these are all in general. I'm pretty sure these are all from one book. It's just Think and Grow Rich quotes. I'm telling you, it's just every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Dreams are never born of indifference, laziness, or lack of ambition. This is the stuff I put on my my whiteboards, right? I have two fat whiteboards.
Okay, like, I haven't heard these ones before.
Never wait because the time will never be right.
Jeez.
I don't know.
Have you guys seen his quote battle with G on the podcast?
Well, that was a time ago. I don't even remember. That was
crazy.
We always say your network is your net worth. That's been one that we all live by.
Yeah.
It's true, Never know where these people that you meet will take you. What else we got?
What was it?
Your network is your net worth. Your network is your net worth. I don't know whose quote that was originally, but stuck with me.
So, it's yours now.
So yeah.
Clean it.
What else we got? you're never truly ready for something until you truly believe inside your head that you can acquire it. So it's like, so, you know, believe and you will achieve. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. That type of thing.
Jeez, now I feel like my quote is just dark.
You know, it was to the end so you can have like the big boy quote and nah, you got it. It's gonna be sick.
And I don't know. Live today because there could be a pandemic tomorrow. That's a modern one.
You made that one, didn't you?
That's actually my quote.
Yeah, I'm guessing you made that. It sounds like such a Peter thing to do, you know. Like.
Oh, I'm gonna post this on the G Team Insta.
Well, that quote, that's so funny. G Team Talks coming soon, by the way, guys. So
let's get it.
That's it.
Yeah, no, you're making me feel a bit iffy about my quotes now. I don't even.
But you know, like low-key, I read books not even for the knowledge, just for the quotes.
Oh, there is a good quote. I think is it Ralph Waldo or something? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like I cannot read. I cannot remember like how many books I've read. You know, even so, they have made me who I am today.
Yeah.
Yo.
Where is it?
Just like
where there we go. I cannot remember the books I've read any more than the meals I have eaten. Even so, they have made me.
Oof.
This is next level. Just like
by Ralph Waldo.
You're on the sum total of all your experiences, whether you can remember them or not.
That's true.
That's so true. Because there's so many things in life where I've forgotten that has happened, but obviously that has made me who I am today.
That is probably one of that is probably one of the most favorite quotes that I have. But my number one like quote for me that I think tops everything is just, if you need inspiring words, don't do it.
So I shouldn't do my degree then.
I'm not gonna lie. When I like, that was the first quote that I heard that made me feel anything but happy. Like you know, like I remember when I was like, you know, telling myself I lack motivation, and you know, I really need something to read right now just to help me go. And I just remember, I think it was Elon Musk that said it. And he was just like, look, if you need inspiring words, don't do it. I was kind of like, damn, that
yeah, huh?
That's not what I wanted, but it's what I needed.
Yeah,
it's what I needed to hear. I was kind of like, you know what, like, and I think that's something that kind of like highlights the entire kind of like theme of this conversation, which is basically, you know, being passionate about what it is that you want to do, and like true passion for what you want to do is doing it anyway without the need for, let's say, a motivational quote or an inspiring kind of like, you know, like, yeah, an inspiring piece of text or whatever. It's just getting up there and doing it because you know that it's something that you deeply care about. And, you know, if you do, then it will come. But if you're not passionate, if you're not passionate about it, then no matter how many, you know, quotes you read, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many people you talk to, if you don't feel it, you know, yourself, put the pen down or just walk away, because it will not work no matter how much you try to say emotion.
I feel like as well, your motivation will definitely fall, like regardless of like whatever it is you're doing. Like you're saying, even for you, like at the start, you ended up quitting doing the music, but you bounced back. Princess, same thing, the books and writing. I think it's important to recognize there are some times where like that passion will die and that's it. And like that's like when this quote obviously applies. But then also don't just be demotivated, like, and forget that, you know, this was something that you were always passionate about, and that is something that you probably will want to get back to. Like, obviously that difference between quitting when it's the right time to quit. I think knowing when to quit is probably like the whole basis of this quote, right? Knowing when like something is not for you and knowing when it is for you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just not your time. You know, and I think me as a 12-year-old kid, I kind of had to just tell myself, look, this unz kind of stuff is not going to get you anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You know? like, you know, you got to stop. Like, you got to walk away. Like, focus on algebra. Like, you know, just do other things. You know, just know that right now. And then when I was 14, I was kind of like, you know, something out there said to me, you know what, give this stuff again. You know, like give it another go. Yeah. And I think, yeah, as you said, Olu, like, you know, it's all about knowing when's your time. Like, when's your time to shine, and when's your time to maybe say like, not now, bro, not now.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Yeah.
No, that's
don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Don't worry, sweetheart. But yeah, that's such an important conversation to have, you know, because I feel like with like hustling culture and everything is so looked down upon to obviously quit on some things, you know, when in reality in the long term, when you can see, like if you tried something so many times and it's still not working, then it's probably not for you, you know. It's better you put your efforts into something else. And yeah, like as you said, coming back to it, you know, it's like lose but do not accept defeat, that type of thing, you know. So yeah, I mean, who knows? 2021 could be very different. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Yeah, this might be a bit of a hot take, but for me anyway, 2020 has actually been a very good year, like for personal, like growth, personal development. I don't know about everyone else. I get like people. It seemed to me like it got to March and people had written off the whole of the year. They're like, this year is finished. This is I don't know. I think there's something to be said for like understanding that you don't know what's going to come tomorrow. You know, like Peter said, pandemic. But it's like, oof.
Oh. Wait, was that? Did you freeze?
I just thought I'd leave it on a cliffhanger.
Oh.
No. My internet connection was a bit unstable, but I don't know how much you guys heard. The point is, just like, you don't know what's going to come tomorrow, so you might as well have that optimism. Like, it's not useful to have to be pessimistic. Is basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I have another quote, guys.
Jeez.
Which it kind of links to you know what you're saying about 2020, and some people wrote it off. Mm-hmm. But there's this quote, I hope this is the right person's name, Edvard Munch or Edvard Munch, something like that. And it goes something like this. It's not word for word, but if you search it online, you'll find the word for word. But it's like, from my rotting body, flowers grow from it. So that we're all dying, but as we're dying, the flowers the way I analyze it is like the flowers are like your legacy or things that you've done to impact the world. So let's say you have, you know, your production thing, that's like a flower that has come from your rotten body. Or even this G-Team thing, like the contributions that we're making is a flower from our rotten body. And when people think, oh, life is limited, like, what's the point? There's flowers like trying to bloom, blossom, or whatever. Or when some people try to write off the rest of 2020, it's like, you're not making effort to make your dead body free with the flower.
100%. 100%. Yeah, no, I agree with you both, you know, Ollie and Princess. Like, you know, it's you know, people did, like, I think you can't get through a conversation today with someone without them saying, oh, 2020 has been one hell of a year, hasn't it? Oh, this year's been so bad, hasn't it? Yes. And, you know, not only does that obviously speak to their you know, to their level of you know, social communication, but also, you know, it also speaks to, you know,
this guy said shots.
It also speaks to, you know, just like just how much people are kind of like sucked into this idea that once the start of the year has gone wrong, it suddenly says how the rest of the year is going to go. Like, you know, I always see these kind of like memes where, like, you know, and it's not just 2020, it's also like the year before and the year before that. It's kind of like, oh, you know, it's kind of like when if the phase from, let's say, January to, let's say, sort of like April has not gone so well, yeah, I'll just start again next year. We'll have a better one next year.
Like, what's that even mean?
Sorry?
It's like, what's that even mean? It just doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean?
It's been a bad start, so, you know, like, you know, just let the whole year pass. Do whatever you want. Don't try to be this more person. Just let it go, and then try to be a better person next year. That's basically the mindset, the thinking behind all that.
Yeah, that's like the whole concept behind New Year's resolutions and everything. Do you know what I mean?
Real
How people are like,
pointless.
yeah, January time this year, I'm gonna be doing up gym, I'm gonna be eating good, this and that, and then it lasts for about a month, right? So it's like you should just start, New Year's resolutions today. Obviously, if within restrictions and whatnot, but yeah, you're right in terms of there's never a right time to start anything, so you may as well just get on with it.
And that's the thing. Like, I won't lie to you. Like if we had to put all like kind of the BS aside, I momentarily was sucked into that idea as well, where coronavirus had hit. I had just started like getting into like kind of the routine of regularly going to the library and studying, because I realized, oh my God, that's my place of work. And it's such a vibe. So also fast internet speeds, upload and download were amazing. But anyways, aside from all of that, that suddenly came crashing down. As soon as I had just started like that routine, it came crashing down. We were confined to our homes, and we were made to do online exams and just basically online learning. And I've not been used to that before. So it definitely put me into this kind of place where I was kind of like, no, this is not the year. This is just not the year. And I was ready to write it off like everybody else. Like if I had to be very, very truthful. But then of course I came back to my senses, and I realized, just because, you've had a few bumps in the road doesn't necessarily mean that you're not gonna, make it to the end. If you look at the year like that, why aren't you looking at your life like that and saying, oh my God, like, we've had a few bad years, let's just, start another life and do what you can't. You can't.
Time,
because when you're forced into that thing, when you're put there in this world, you can't just say, oh, I'm just gonna get into a new body and start from there. In this next life, I want to be Bangladeshi. Like I can't pick and choose. Like this is the life you have now, and this is the year that you're having. So make the most of it, regardless of how bad it's going. That doesn't mean that you have to suddenly be bad. Just because you're surrounded by negative people, just because you're surrounded by negative situations, that in turn doesn't have to make you the same. You can be the flower that grows from that rotting, piece of whatever.
We got
it, yes.
Yeah.
He's a wordsmith. I love it.
So like I ended up taking that, myself, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna start helping people. And of course the commercial law internship came around. I joined the G team because I was like, you know what, this is, and I think maybe I don't know, like the entire like what sparked the idea, but maybe it came out of the pandemic. Maybe the idea for a G team came out of the pandemic. We don't know. I mean, I've got to ask you that, but still, at least for me, the idea of, sorry.
That's a good thing as well. Like that's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing for me, at least. What I did personally was like, I realized, I want to apply to law firms this year. But I also know people who want to apply but don't have that, the necessary resources and skills, and they don't have all the knowledge that's needed to like properly understand what the application process is like. So I said, you know what? I'm applying to these two firms. Let me write up notes myself, but then let me condense them and make them into a guide that I can then post on LinkedIn for free, and everyone else gets access to it. And I thought, it's just a small thing of making someone's day. It ended up making like well over 2,500 people's day. But but it just goes to show, if I chose to let 2020 and the whole pandemic consume me and add to whatever was rotting that year, I would have ended up, just, not putting out the work that I did. I would have not ended up joining the G team. I would not have helped to start a social mobility organization. I would not have tried to do any of those kinds of things. But you know, you guys speak so much truth in that people are so ready to write things off. But really, if we just, just tried that little harder, pushed that little bit more, we could end up doing some crazy things, just like we're doing right now. You know, we would not be in this position talking to other people if we did not feel like, oh, you know what, I'm still going to try to do something good this year, no matter what's going on, and whatnot. So yeah, 100%. 100%.
Wow.
It's been really fun.
Sorry?
So this has been really fun.
It has been. We better put like memes and whatever as much as possible in this stuff, because I think there was so many times we could have added something on the side.
Me and Ollie are trying to get a soundboard on this,
Next time.
So we just like plug sounds and stuff. You can make your own one. You can bring it with you.
Why not?
Quarantine radio,
Quarantine.
But yeah, it's been nothing but pure facts in this episode. It's been really, really enjoyable speaking to you guys, because it's like with the G Team podcast, it's like I feel like I get to know you guys more and then talk about things that we don't really talk about a lot, or we don't talk about enough. And if people aren't inspired by this, then I don't know what else.
I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know for you, bro. I don't know. You will listen when you are dead.
For real.
I didn't hear that. I feel like I'm missing out. I didn't hear the joke.
Oh no.
Oh man.
What are they in?
Yeah.
But yeah, quick wrap up. Thank you very much for joining us, Princess and Shanén. This has been a wonderful time.
Please plug your socials. Please plug anything that you do want to plug before we wrap this up.
Follow the Martians on YouTube.
There we go.
That's Martians with a Z at the end, not an S. Shanén.jpg on Instagram. But yeah, hit me up.
Ladies.
Princess?
My turn. Okay, I'm still a bit shy, guys. But you can follow me on Instagram at Terin Dosa, which is Erin with the T in front of it, and then Dosa, which is like DOSA. Anyway, and then I know you guys can help out by raising awareness for the End Anglophone Crisis in Cameroon. So if you just search Google, or even sign some petitions, raise awareness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's a single Pringle ready to mingle.
And on that bombshell. Good night, good morning, good evening, depending on you listening.
Hope you guys have a good day.
See you.